Hello everybody, it's Carla here from the game store here in sunny Lincoln, and today we're going to have a look at what's in the box for MBT from GMT. Okay, it's a game of tank-to-tank combat on a tactical level in 1987 Germany. Doesn't just include tanks, but obviously that's the focus, so you can probably tell by the name. Now the game is based on the Panzer system. Panzer is based on the original Panzer by Quinto. MBT also was produced by Avalon Hill, but this is an entirely new version. Let's have a look what's inside. Okay, first thing is the basic rules. Now the basic rules are, well, basic, I suppose you could say. There's 28 pages, but don't let that put you off. There's only about 16 pages of rules. There's lots of other information in there. When I was going through them, I suddenly sort of turned the page and realised it ended, and I was like, oh, okay, is that it? That was pretty easy. So you've got rules for spotting. Okay, you've got rules for obviously firing. You've got rules for movement. You've got rules for how you give your guys orders. In the basic game, individual vehicles all get an order, which can be, you know, to fire, it can be to move, it can be to overwatch, which is to wait and look for a target. You can do half and half. You can do nothing if you want to. Okay, so basic rules for that. Very quick, very easy to set up. I don't think anybody who's played a war game before would have any difficulty with the basic rules. Okay, very, very simple. Really quite easy and fast to get into, so don't be put off by what you're going to see in a few minutes. Okay, the next thing is the playbook I'm going to show you. Combat effects somewhere on the back, but this is the book that contains all the scenarios. Okay, nice graphical view of the scenarios, so you can see what's going on. You've got lists of units, organisation. You want to know what's in a divisional reconnaissance battalion, Soviet divisional reconnaissance battalion. There you go. You know, you want to know what's in a tank regiment. You want a bit of the history, because obviously it's alternate history. The Never Was a War tells you about how to determine points value of units. When you look at the units, it tells you, you know, if you've got a BTR 70, if it's elite, it's going to cost you 78 points. If it's raw, it's going to cost you 15 points, and the other ones in between. So really, really easy to create your own scenarios. I mean, you know, I think I'll be doing that quite a lot. The next thing is, and this is the bit that will, you know, possibly make your jaw drop, the advanced game rules. Now you could, you know, club somebody to death with these. 72 pages, sounds an awful lot. Well, it is an awful lot, but don't worry about it because you don't need to know everything. Some of these are optional. Okay, starting on page 55, you've got the optional rules. Even the advanced game rules, you don't need them all. You've got things like aircraft, you've got artillery, you've got infantry, because yes, infantry don't come in the basic game. It's all about the tanks, boys. Okay, anti-tank guided missiles, helicopters, surface-to-air missiles, stacking. You know, you've got an advanced game sequence of play, which is considerably more complicated, but nothing that you should worry you too much. Great thing is, you don't need it all. You only need certain bits for certain scenarios. And even though when I saw that at first I was a little perturbed, actually not particularly bothered now, having played with it a little bit. Charts and tables. Okay, hidden unit track. You know, you want to know where your hidden units are. You put a little marker on, you put them on there. On the back tells you what the cards for the aircraft represent, the cards for the helicopters, cards for, you know, towed stuff, artillery, etc., anti-tank guns, mobile artillery vehicle, off-board artillery, leg stuff, okay, heavy mech rifle companies, half squads, etc., crew-served weapons, okay, dragons, AT-4s, laws, stingers, that sort of thing. On the other side of this, you're probably quite interested in that. That is the vehicle data card, obviously very important. You know, this bit shows you how to hit stuff and what you do when you hit them. That shows you what happens when you get hit. Okay, so that's your defense, that's your attack. Information about your weapons and your movement up there as well. This looks a lot, but I think you'll pick it up, you know, after a short time. Charts and tables, how to hit stuff, what happens when you hit it, you know, what happens when you bail out. Some more advanced stuff on here as well, terrain effects, spotting ranges, they're basic stuff, but you know, aircraft spotting. If you're doing the command version, available commands, morale, things like that. Okay, full sequence of play there. It's pretty simple. You've got command, you place command on your units, you work out who's got the initiative, so you have to place your commands before you know whether you're going first or second. Air phase if you're playing advanced, combat, which is obviously firing, movement, second air phase if you're playing with planes, adjustment step, that's pretty much all advanced, and then back to the top again, to the spotting phase. So not particularly difficult, that's a dupe. These bits of paper come around the cards, but I took them off earlier so you could see what the cards look like. I'll show you the maps first. 5 maps, all double-sided, all attractive. Okay, I like these, clear, big hexes because the counters are very big. I think the only thing I don't like about these is they are folded quite a lot. They've got 5 folds in them to make them smaller, I imagine, in the box, but I would have preferred, you know, different maps, but just 2 folds. But they've done it like that. You've got a lot of flexibility. Then you've got the cards. Okay, there's your T64, T55, BMP, obviously these are Russian things, BTR-70s. These are all double-sided. These are very thick. I'm not quite sure why they're so thick. I don't know. They could have made them a lot thinner, made the game a lot lighter, but I don't suppose we should complain. There's your A10 Thunderbolt 2. Okay, fantastic plane. So ugly, it's beautiful. M1 Abrams, pretty famous. M1 IP Abrams, M1A1 Abrams, M60A3, you know, various other stuff. So all the vehicles have got cards. There's also cards for infantry, aircraft, things like that. Then we get to the counters. Now, these counters are huge. I mean, I don't know if you can tell from that, but they are absolutely enormous. They're the biggest counters I think I've seen in a conventional hex and counter board game. You've got the Americans. It's got the movement printed on them. You've got some helicopters there. Okay, then, oh, those Russians. Okay, T-72. Again, quite a lot of them. Different information on the back. Okay. More Russians, helicopters, planes, infantry, you know, for both sides. Hidden unit markers. Then you've got your orders. Is the guy going to fire? Is it going to move? Is it going to be overwatch? Is it going to do a short halt, which allows you to fire and move, but obviously at a penalty? Do you not want to give it any orders at all? So no command. Informational markers. Is it, you know, brewed up, i.e. completely gone? Have you bailed? Is there rubble, smoke, minefields, usual sort of stuff that you would expect. And then finally, these are spot markers, so you put them on if a tank, say, moves, you put the marker on with the move up so that you can see that it's moved, so it's easier to spot in the future, because obviously you can see things at a longer distance when they've moved. Same if they fire. You've got turrets there if you're using the turret optional rules. Radar, you've got, you know, control symbols, NATO, etc. And then finally you've got some dice, and you've got your bags, which GMT are very kind to provide. I can't see those bags taking all these counters, but luckily I have lots of my own anyway. Lots of stuff in the box. I think one thing that disappoints me slightly is I wish they'd made the box bigger. I mean, they're bringing out a British Army and a German expansion. You know, they're going to be big boxes as well. I imagine there's going to be a lot of stuff in them, so I'm not sure how you're going to fit it all in. You know, especially if you like to put all your stuff in one box, that's never going to happen. I think they should have made these boxes I think they're 3-inch versions. But I hope you've enjoyed seeing what's in the box. Quite an interesting game. Don't be put off by the rules. It's pretty simple. If you like that sort of 1987 era sort of combat, Cold War combat, I think you're really going to enjoy this. If you like Panzer, you're going to enjoy this. If you like ASL but you want something modern, it's a lot cleaner than ASL, that's for sure. Hopefully you'll enjoy this as well. Well, thanks very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll do more of the same. And see you in the next game. Thanks very much. Goodbye.